Hey guys and girls, so this is a bonus lesson of my course on the topic of list building, and I have an awesome guest with me today. It's Bryan Harris. Hi Bryan.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tim.
I've been following Bryan's work for quite a few years, and I think, in my personal opinion, he's one of the best experts on the topic of list building. He has shared a lot of knowledge on the topic on his blog for free, so you can go and read a lot of that. And he also has a premium course on list building, so you might want to check it out if you want to consume content faster. Okay, so Bryan, let's start from some kind of credibility. Tell us about your own email list, how long it took you to get there, and how do you think if you were to start your list today, knowing everything that you know today, how faster would you build it to the same number?
I don't know about the second part of that, but the first part, the company started in April of 2013, started the email list in January of 2014, and we're now 4 years or so later, and our list is right at 200,000 unique subscribers on our list. So it took about 4 years to get there, and it's right at 200,000.
This is pretty huge. Okay, so now let's talk about some strategies. I like to generally break things into groups, and I think that email list building strategies could be distributed into two groups. The ones that you do on your website, like pop-ups, hello bars and stuff, and the one that you do outside your website. For example, I see a lot of people do joint webinars and then share subscribers. So let's talk about the on-site list building strategies first. Like, I'm sure you have tried pretty much all of them. So tell us about your experience. What are your most favorite ones? What are your least favorite ones, and why?
Yeah, I mean, you were just talking to Noah recently, and the thing I learned from him early on, he was instrumental in me getting started. One of the things he taught me is do more of what works. So when it comes to on-site optimization, which is a lot of what a lot of list building strategies are masqueraded as, is just optimizing your website so they work. And that's obviously if you have traffic to your site and you're more established and whatnot, that's totally the first place to start. So what I do is go into Google Analytics and find what are your most popular pages, like what pages have traffic coming to them now. Because we can optimize a page that has 3 visitors coming to it all day long and is not really going to move the needle at all. So typically what you see is your top 5 most popular pages is your homepage and your top 3 or 4 blog posts that are typically SEO'd well. So those are your 3 or 4 most popular popular pages. So what we do is have 2 different types of optimization techniques for those. Number 1 for the homepage is something called an upside down homepage. So you can go to videofrew.com or michaelhyatt.com or goinswriter.com. Those would be 3 examples of that and see examples of it. You can also just Google upside down homepage, and there's a guest post I wrote on the Lead Pages blog you can read to get a full detailed version of it and some templates and whatnot. But basically the concept is on a typical homepage, you come to someone's homepage and there's just stuff everywhere. There's category bars and there's social icons and there's sign up for the free trial and here's all our features. It's like this is the first time me and you've ever talked on video before, Tim. It'd be like the first time we ever had a conversation. I try to tell you my entire life story. Like, that's really awkward. If the first time someone comes to your site, you try to just tell them everything about you. So what we've done with the upside down homepage is just flip that upside down. And we put all of your links and all the navigation and all the social stuff at the bottom of the page, but give people a single clear call to action at the top and tell them a story that introduces you, but mostly tells them how you can help them and give them an opt-in on that homepage they can download in order to join your email list. So you can see some examples of that, but just by because what typically you'll see on pages, you'll have all the stuff at the top. Usually there's 50 call to actions at the top of a page, which is all this different things they can do, and then a blog post or some call to action at the bottom. So just flip that upside down and make the first interaction with you really fluid and really easy with a single clear thing to do. If you can't go to your homepage and in less than 5 seconds know the single clear thing you want someone to do, you're losing conversions. You're losing leads that you could potentially sell to. Second thing is going to your most popular blog post and creating content upgrades, which is just a lead magnet for that specific post. So instead of having your universal lead magnet you have all over the site on the most visited blog post, if you're ranking really high for some keyword and you don't have a lead magnet specifically made for that, go and make one. Put it inside of the blog post in the intro and at the end. And if you won't, put a timed or exit intent pop-up on that page that shows before someone goes to leave and introduces that lead magnet to them. We've seen those 2 things alone. We're working with people. Those are the first things we do on any site that gets over just a few thousand visits on the site per month. And that'll take the on-site conversion from 1 to 2% to 8 to 10% we've seen regularly with people.
Yeah, this is great. I totally support these 2 strategies. Do you think you can apply the upside down homepage to, for example, company blogs? I know it works like perfectly for kind of personal blogs, for one-man army blogs. But what about company blogs, for example, for us at Hrefs blog? And the same other question about, okay, let me ask another question later. What about the upside down homepage for companies?
Yeah, I'm pulling up your website now. Y'all do a pretty good job. So let's just start with this. Company, individual, there's no difference. You're marketing from a person to another person. So whether you're marketing B2B or B2C, you're trying to get individuals to do an action. So in that regard, it's no different. Whether you're Brian Dean selling a course with the one-man army or you're Hrefs selling a software with an entire company. At the end of the day, what you want is SEOers to sign up for your tool or sign up for your course. Exactly. The call to action is the same at the end of the day. It doesn't matter whether you're Brian or whether you're Hrefs. So y'all do a pretty good job. I'm just looking at the site right now. Above the fold, call to action, start 7-day trial for $7. That's not going to optimize for email conversions. You're optimizing for signups right there. You're trying to get a sell right off the bat at the top of the page. So that's not terrible, but you're not going to, you would have more email signups that you could then convert into a trial if you went with an email approach. And that would be something you could test, or maybe you guys have already tested. After that, when I'm scrolling down the page, the next thing I see is the tools you get with Hrefs, a little sample size, a bunch of numbers bragging on the tool and how powerful it is, and some testimonials.
Yeah, but that's a homepage. Click on the blog link at the top.
No, I'm not talking about blog. I'm talking about the homepage. I bet if you look at
okay. So you're talking about the home. Okay.
Yeah. The number one traffic page on your site, I bet, is Hrefs.com. Because that's where everyone links. Obviously, people link internally to pages as well, but almost every site you go to, unless you're have in the SEO world, it can vary a little bit. If you got some really good, like Jeff Goins, for instance, he's a friend of mine that teaches. He's a single guy kind of blog. But if you go to like how to write a book, he ranks number one for that. So obviously that gets more traffic than any other page. But number two is his homepage. So for you guys, it's probably gonna be similar. Maybe it's 3 or 4, but the homepage itself is really important to optimize. So it doesn't matter whether it's a company. That gets into some nuance of design that you can just have a designer design it up in a way that fits y'all's design criteria. But what you want to do is have someone who's never heard of Hrefs before. Someone that's never heard of you before has come to the site for the first time. They're not clicking that orange button and signing up. It's just not happening. A return person might. Someone that's heard of you before, has been in the industry some, but a brand new person, they're not clicking the button. They're just not. They're not going to pay you $7 the first time they've ever heard of you. But they will give you their email address in exchange for a piece of information that'll help them, and then you can indoctrinate them into that. So it could be worth using something like Right Message to know whether it's somebody's first time or they've been there multiple times and adjust that call to action accordingly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. About content upgrades, I'm actually a big advocate of the strategy. I used to have a plugin that did content upgrades for WordPress blogs. But the general concern I have about it, and this is a tricky question that I was also asking to Noah in our interview, is that basically you offer people a lead magnet. Yeah, it is like 100% relevant to the article that they landed on and that they're reading. So there's a high chance that they will grab it. I know a lot of people for whom the conversions of content upgrades go like through the roof. But like, how do you keep people engaged from there? Because they got the freebie, they got what they wanted. They don't really expect any more emails from you.
Well, first of all, if they don't expect any more emails from you, you're doing the content upgrade wrong. So one of the things you give them when they download the upgrade is, hey, let's just take an example. I'm just going to go to your blog real quick and pick out a recent post. So how to find and fix broken links to reclaim valuable link juice. That's a post y'all posted the other day. So now I wouldn't recommend creating a content upgrade when you launch the post. When you see it's getting traffic and it's starting to rank, then go back and create one. That's the better way to do it, because the only people signing up for it when you first launch it are the people already on your list, which can be a content strategy. But if you're doing it just to collect new email subscribers, wait till you know it's ranking and then go back and create it. So let's just say that post is ranking. If you were going to create a lead magnet, maybe you'd create a 30-minute tutorial where Tim actually goes over the Hrefs site and goes over someone else's site and finds broken links. That's something I know because I've been through multiple courses on SEO. We're not great at SEO. And I always hear people write these posts and tell me about it, but no one ever does it and lets me watch it. And it's a pain in the butt to do broken link building because you have to find them. And that's like a needle in a haystack. So I know for that topic, that's a pain point of mine. If I were to read that post and it said, hey, download a 30-minute tutorial of me actually going out and finding 3 broken links. You can see how I do it. It's just ugly. It's not edited. You just watch me do it. I would watch the entire thing. And if also in that pop-up where I enter my email address, you say, and also we're going to send you tips on how to continue your broken link building and build an entire SEO strategy every week. So enter email below and you'll get both of those things. So you package your newsletter along with the downloadable as the thing they're signing up for. If they don't know you're signing up for the newsletter, then you're tricking them into signing up for your newsletter. When we do it, we do both. They get the downloadable and they get weekly tips on how to continue doing the thing they're opting in for. So it's all about just framing it for the person correctly and setting their expectations. And the second part of that would be, what do you do to keep people engaged? That's a list question in general. It's not specific to content upgrades. If people sign up for your list,
we'll get to it later. We'll get to it later. Yeah, I love the tip that you should actually set an expectation that people are signing up for your email list and they're about to get updates. So basically, you're using Content Upgrade as the first upgrade, the first cool thing that you send them, and from there you continue, right?
Yeah, and like it's not just telling them, but here's the deal. Every week, we're spending 20, 30, 40 hours writing really good content. That's good stuff. Like, it's a bonus. Like, we look at our newsletter as a product that's free. It's a freemium product. It's not even freemium. It's just a free product, right? So it's like a $1,000 course or a $99 a month Ahrefs software service or whatever the price is. But this is free. So this is a product you're actually getting. So I think positioning it as that to people through your copy is really important. This isn't just some newsletter you're on. This is the Ahrefs exclusive newsletter where we share behind the scenes stuff of what we're doing and what's working. You get that, plus you get a 30-minute tutorial video. Do you want in on that? Like, it's just not just telling them, but positioning it correctly to them where they want to be on it after reading that one sentence of copy.
I love that advice. Totally love it. And like, you frame it super awesome. Okay, so let's get to the offsite strategies. Tell us what you tried and what you enjoyed and what you didn't enjoy.
So the number one thing we like to do for offsite is partnerships. And partnerships can look a lot of different ways. A lot of people use Facebook ads a lot. That hasn't been something that's been successful for us. We've been trying for 3 years to get Facebook ads to work, and we've had moderate success. And other people do great with it. But the thing that's worked well for us, and that's all I can speak to, is what's worked well for us and consistently for clients of ours are partnerships. So there's several different type of partnerships. You mentioned partner webinars. We found that to be really effective in almost every industry, especially software, because they're very underused in the software industry. They're used a ton in the information marketing world, but many other industries they're not at all. So when you think about this is another lesson Noah taught me. I'm just going to just reiterate everything Noah taught me. But number one in trying to market a product is have a really good product. Like, focus on that first. Second, when you go to try to market that product, find audiences, find people who have audiences of your potential customer and give them a reason to talk about you. Okay, so what is a reason I could get? Like, would Ahrefs' audience be potential customers for me? Absolutely. Would my audience be potential customers for you? Absolutely. So if it's me and I'm thinking, all right, I want to grow my list. Ahrefs has got a big audience, a super popular blog. How can I get them to tell their audience about me? Because, like, let's just dream for a minute. Let's say you guys tomorrow send an email out with a link that said, click this link and join Bryan's newsletter. It's amazing. I would get 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 subscribers from that. Now, can I get y'all to send that email? Probably not. But how could I get y'all to do something that promoted me in order for me to grow my list and get more leads so that I could sell people? So one way is by doing a partner webinar. Like, team up and just think about a partner webinar is you just teaching someone else's audience. So obviously you guys that are watching this video right now are interested in list building. I talk about list building. How about me and Ahrefs have a webinar about list building? Or how about this? How about I do an interview with Tim in a free course that he's releasing and talk about list building, which is what we're doing right now. So we'll pick up 200 or 300 subscribers from this interview, and that was intentional. I'm going to give a few call to actions throughout this. It'll be natural that will lead you back to my stuff so that you can sign up for our newsletter and be on our list and be a lead for us. So partner webinars are a good way to do that. Another partnership type that's really popular are guest posts. That is a partnership. You're partnering with someone else to write on their site. Because I come from lead gen list building world, not SEO world. I look at guest posting, if done correctly, as a great list building event that can then be optimized for SEO if you do that correctly with strategic link placing. A lot of people that do guest posting come from the world of, I want to write a guest post on Ahrefs blog so I can get a link that points back to a post. I'm like, just do both. Because if you do a guest post correctly, if you use something called the expanded guest post, which just Google expanded guest post, there'll be a blog post that comes up on our site. You can read about it. You actually create a content upgrade in that post. So let's just paint a scenario real quick. Tim, you invite me to the Ahrefs blog to write a post about list building. You guys want to rank for list building, incredibly competitive keyword. You'll invite someone in to write on that topic. I publish the post on your site. I link back maybe to an article on my site somewhere. I create a content upgrade on your site that's like, hey, come and join this 1 hour and watch this 1 hour masterclass me and Tim did. Just enter your email to get it. And then it's a partnership is two ways. It has to benefit both of us. So I actually email my list about that post. So I email 200,000 people about the post, send them back to Ahrefs' site. They pick up a couple hundred signups for it. They include my content upgrade on their post. So I pick up 400 or 500 subscribers from it. And then long term, they'll eventually rank for that keyword. So that'd be a partner. A partnership has to be beneficial on both sides. So guest posts are a great way. Partner webinars are another way. One thing that's not used a ton is a lead magnet swap. This is something we found to be very effective. And a lead magnet swap is when, like, let's just take the guest post example. Instead of writing a guest post for Ahrefs, what if they handed us one of their most popular lead magnets? Maybe one of y'all's lead magnet is a free trial. Maybe you typically do a 30-day free trial. I don't know if you do a trial or not, just as an example. But let's say you decided to give us a 90-day free trial, and we took one of our premium products and turn, like we have a entry-level course on list building that's $300, and we gave that to your audience. And we both emailed each other's a list about it. If we promoted that well to our list and just sent 1 to 2 emails to our list, we would both pick up hundreds and hundreds of customers from that. So taking one of your most popular lead magnets, or maybe even an entry-level product, turning it free and exchanging it with someone that has an audience that's relative to you. The whole game in partnerships is find people who have audiences that you want to get in front of and give them a reason to talk about you. You have to keep the partner's best interest in place. So a variation we've done of this are partner tools. This is something that's much more advanced. You need an engineering team to be able to do it. But we create every month. We create a new free tool and get a partner to sponsor that and then launch the tool. So as an example, we created a tool called List Goal. If you're interested in building your list or want to make sure your list is being helpful, you can go to listgoal.com and sign up for it. It's free forever. We partnered up with ConvertKit to build the tool and launch the tool with ConvertKit. And we've had, I don't know the number right of this second, but we've had about 12,000 people sign up for it in the first 45 days of the tool. So we built the tool, we partnered with another company, they put their name on it, we share the leads, and we both just promote the crap out of it. We promote it in a big event in the first 30 days, and we put it in all of our popular blog posts and email sequences and onboarding sequences and whatnot, and we get 1,000 or so new subscribers every month from that. So we've created, I think, 7 different tools that we partnered with people on, and we do that every month. So that's the partnership we're completely focused on. We don't do any other type of partnerships right now. It's just partner tools because they work really well. It's actually kind of hard to do them. There's not a lot of competition on them. So I would encourage you to experiment with a few things. I've given you 4 ideas here. Tools will be the most difficult. Lead magnet swap would be one of the easier ones. Guest post and partner webinars. There'll be 4 partnership strategies, and there's lots of other variations as well. But that's something for us we have found to be cheap to almost free to do, extremely effective. You get an immediate result from it, and it's something you can do over and over again. Last example I'll leave you with is ConvertKit, our partner with ListGoal. ConvertKit in, let's see, I think it was 2016. Nathan started the year right around, I think it was like $10,000 to $20,000 MRR. Over the course of 2016, they did 142 partner webinars. 142. That's one basically every other day, or a little faster than that, I guess. Or no, yeah, and every 2 days to 3 days, I did a partner webinar, and they went from $10,000 MRR to now they just passed $1 million a month MRR. So $1 million of recurring revenue every month. And what they did to get there was a partner webinar, 142 partner webinars in 1 year. The guy that led that was Daryl Vesterfeld, and just did it over and over and over and over and over again. They made a system out of it and just kept doing what works. So I would encourage you to experiment with a couple of partnerships, find the one that works for you, and just keep doing it.
Whoa. 100 webinars. Let me just one follow-up question on that, because I think I tried to offer like a few people that have some audience to do a webinar about Ahrefs, and I think I was turned down. So probably I was doing something wrong, and probably that something wrong was about being a win-win for everyone. So like, for example, if I do a webinar about Ahrefs for your list, what would make you want to do it? Like, what's your win there?
Well, one thing I'll say off the bat, a lot of software companies really suck at partnerships. They're like, I had someone, I won't name names, but I had a software company come to me and say they would give me a free year of their software, their premium software, to do a partner webinar and to promote it with their audience. But I'll need to get 1,500 people to register for it. And I started doing the math, and that was $600. $600 for the full year of the program. Like, why would I ever do that? That makes no sense at all. Why don't I just do a webinar to my own list for my own product and make 20 grand versus making $600 to promote your product? Like, it literally just makes no sense at all. So I would look at the first thing I would do for you, Tim. This is one thing I would encourage anyone the first time they're doing something is go talk to someone who's done that before. So I would say go talk to Daryl, go talk to Nathan, and talk to them about partner webinars for software companies. That'd be step number one. And I always do that. Try to find a coach. That is the ultimate fast forward button on any business, is find someone who's done it, pay them money, or get really close to them so they'll give you advice on how to do it. That just speeds up everything. So that'd be number one. Number two would be, you have to make it a win for them. So like your perfect partner is Brian Dean. It's like SEO, or Matthew Barbie, or some of these other, like Tommy Griffith, any of these SEO guys that are teaching in the info space, probably other software companies as well. But those guys are prime because they don't have a competing product at all, but they have like your perfect audience. So the question isn't how you pitch to me, it's how you pitch to Brian. So how you pitch to Brian is, what does Brian want? First of all, I would say partner webinars is one of the bigger asks that you can make of someone. So if the first time you ever talk to someone, you're asking them for something, you've gone wrong. So you have to have an existing relationship with someone to do, especially an advanced partnership. So I look at, let's actually rewind all the way to the beginning of the partnership conversation. I would make a list of 100 people. So we talked about what audiences do you want to get in front of, like give them a reason to talk about you. First, you need to start with who are 100 people you want to work with. Like in a dream world, you could wave your magic wand. You could have 100 people doing webinars or guest posts or whatever variation of partnership you want to do. Who would they be? Who would those people be? Spend 3 hours writing them down. It's probably, you're going to get through like number 30 or 40 pretty easily. By the time you get to like number 60, you're like really scratching your head. But spend the time to figure out who they are, and then divide that list into 3 sections. People you know. So who are people you've had in a conversation with, like at least webcam or in person, ideally in person? Who have you talked to before? Who do you kind of know? So I'd put us probably in the kind of know category. Like we've talked via email, like this probably brings our relationship a little further, but we'd probably still be in the kind of know category. And then people you don't know, people you kind of know of, but maybe you never talked to before. You just kind of followed from a distance. And for the love, just throw out the first 2 sections. Get rid of the don't know people, get rid of the kind of know people, and just focus on the people you know. For me, I have about 9 close friends. I would probably say 5 really close friends in this industry, like that kind of do similar stuff to me. I'm going blurry here. I don't know why. So anytime I go to pitch something like the list goal tool we created, like I've known Nathan, he's slept at my house before. So like I know him, we text probably once a month or every other week or something to kind of keep in touch with each other. A few other friends that are in the same boat. Like when I'm going to do a partnership, I start with them. They're just easy. So I start with people I know and have a really close relationship with. That lets you kind of figure out your pitch a little bit and figure out what works, because they're not gonna really say no to you if you just make it be a halfway. They'll do it because they like you. And that's what you want to start with. Start with that easy, low-hanging fruit. For people that are maybe in a little earlier on or don't have quite the brand recognition of you guys, Tim, start with people that are in the same demographic of you. So if you have 500 subscribers on your list, don't pitch someone with 100,000 subscribers unless you know them well. Stick with people that are at your level or maybe one rung above you. If you don't have anyone you know at all, start with people maybe you're in a course with someone, or maybe you're in the drip community for the ESP that you have. You're like, you kind of see them around a little bit, but you never really talked to them before. Find somebody that's in that same category. So first, start with people you know, and make it be a win for them. And then have a long-term plan for the people you kind of know and people that you don't know at all. So people I don't know at all, I'll literally start by sharing a success I've had from using their product. So for you guys, Tim, if I were trying to work on to form a tool partnership with you guys, I kind of know you, so I'd probably start with talking with you. Just start a conversation if we haven't talked in a year. And I'd probably share some win I've had from your tool. I'm a subscriber of Ahrefs, and I found this really cool technique recently that I'm sure every SEOer knows that I've never known, and I just kind of stumbled upon. I would just start by sharing that with you and what it's done for me. Like I found, every SEOer that's watching this is going to laugh at me, but I found when I run my site through Ahrefs, and I just go, I think it's called Best by Links on the left sidebar. Like literally, this is like every SEOer should be pitching this if you do search. Because every site I've ever been to outside of one has massive issues with this. Their number one post that has the most links ranks for nothing. Like go try it. Go to the biggest site you know and go plug their thing in Ahrefs and look for Best by Links. Like I found one. I'll mention his name because we're friends. But Michael Hyatt. They have like 2,500 links to michaelhyatt.com/platform, I think it is. And somebody can fact check me by going to Ahrefs, but in that ballpark, 2,500 links to that page Everybody knows how hard it is to get. I think it's 2,500 unique domains. I could be wrong on that. It's a lot. And they rank for nothing. So literally, if you're trying to optimize that site, you could write new content. You don't need to build links. You don't even need to write stuff. You just need to go find a post you have for platform, and probably, I'm guessing, 301 redirect, or just take that information and copy and paste it and put it on the platform page. And you will rank for platform pretty quickly, as long as it's halfway related content. And we started doing that on our site. We're like, man, we're going to stop writing new blog posts. Let's just go back, and we got posts with hundreds of links to it that rank for nothing. So let's go back and just make those rank. So if I were trying to pitch you, I would just share that. Like, Tim, dude, like, I use y'all's tool. I think this is like the best feature in the entire tool for established websites, because none of them know what their most linked to pages are, and almost none of the pages rank for stuff. Like, that's like the easiest thing to ever do for SEO. So I would start with just sharing, and then start the conversation. You're going to ask what I'm up to. I'm going to ask what you're up to. And then through that, I'll share in some natural form, like we just did, that we're doing tool partnerships. And I found with that kind of ask for a tool partnership, people just usually just ask. Like, I had a buddy ask the other day, I was saying what I was doing. He's like, man, I'd love to do one of those with you. Cool, let's go do it. For a partner webinar, you have to know what the win is for your partner. So for Bryan, for instance, like, money, probably not going to be the pitch for him. Like, it probably isn't. But what he does do is he does every year, Bryan, and I'm talking about Bryan Dean at backlinko.com, anybody that's listening doesn't know what I'm talking about. What Bryan does once a year, he does this exhaustive, Moz does this, but theirs isn't as exhaustive as Bryan. He analyzes, I think last year it was 1 million or 10 million pages, and it has the ranking factor study on it. Moz did one with like 10,000. Bryan did one with 1 million. I think last year maybe it went to 10 million. I could be wrong on that. But I know he teams up with SEMrush on that. I don't know if he teams up with y'all on that.
No,
but
he teams us with us as well.
Right, good. So like I would go and be like, how can we give you more data? How can we make your stuff better? That's what he wants. He wants really good content. How could we give every customer that buys your course a year of our product or something? I would find a way to find some unique way to give Bryan what he wants, which is he wants more customers, but that is the number one driver. And that's going to come out of conversations with them. You have to talk to humans and have conversations with them. Another just category for a more established business is all your customers. Like, the people in the people you know category, you might not know their names, but they know you, and they pay you $100 to $200 to $300 a month for your service. Like, who are your existing customers? Go talk to them. Be like, hey, you use Ahrefs. You have an audience that's related to ours. We'd love to team up and do a partnership with you. We'll give you money, and we'll give you free Ahrefs for life if you hit certain benchmarks or something. Like, there'll be total wins for them. You get a bunch of new customers. So it comes down to have conversations with people, figure out what they want, and give them that.
A lot of great advice. I'm glad I don't have to take notes because we are recording this. You even shared an SEO tip in a video about list building. So it's all. I would want to ask you like 20 more questions on all the things.
It's a deep topic.
Yeah, it's a deep topic, but like we're running out of time, so we have one last question to cover, and this is the question that we started discussing before about keeping your list engaged, because you did the upside down homepage, you did the content upgrades, you swept the audience, you swept the lead magnets, you did all that stuff. Like, again, the issue is that you're using all these different methods to put people on your list. Some downloaded your freebie, some saw your like upside down welcome page, some came from a joint webinar with someone. How do you like make your list engaged while not putting a lot of your time there? Because like if you start segmenting every like person who came like from it can take ages. Like, what is your advice here?
So think about the entire, I guess almost the entirety of your business, like your customer acquisition channels in 3 phases. You attract leads. That's what we've been talking about, list building. That's what this entire section is about. Then you have to teach and build a relationship with them. You're never going to get some, I won't say never because this does happen, but the conversion percentages are really low. If a random dude walks up off the street and says, hey, what do you do? And it's like, oh, I help people get more customers. Okay, cool. Have a good day. Like, it very rarely goes from, I just met you for the first time ever, I'm going to give you $7 a month, like, which is what's on y'all's homepage. Like, that practically never happens the first visit. So first you have to attract them. And you have to capture them as a lead so you can actually have a conversation with them. Because someone that comes to your site, meets you in person, whatever, and you don't have a way to talk to them anymore, they're not coming back. They're going to forget you exist. You are the center of your world, and your business is like, you think about it all day. I think about it when we're talking, and then I kind of forget you exist, and then randomly remember you like maybe once a month, maybe if you're lucky. But everybody else encounters you and then leaves. So you have to attract them and capture them. Second thing you have to do is teach them and primarily build a relationship with them. That's what y'all do really well with on your blog is you build a relationship by teaching. And then the third piece is monetizing. Then you can actually make money from someone. Once you've attracted them, you have a relationship with them, you can solve a problem for them. They're obviously are on your list, so they're wanting that problem solved, getting more traffic via SEO. And now you can actually monetize them. So what we're talking about specifically is how do you teach and build a relationship with someone? So just in life, how do you do it? Like I have friends that I keep up with, and I have friends that I don't keep up with. Like I have a friend, Amy Collins. She was one of the groomsmen in my wedding. She was a friend I grew up with for a long time, so she's standing on my side during our wedding or whatever. And like I wish our relationship was still as strong as it was, but it's not. Like I moved away, we live 7 hours away, but I text her probably once a month. If I wanted that relationship to be stronger, you know what I would do? I would text her more often. I would pick up the phone and talk to her. So how do you build a relationship with anyone? How do you have a better marriage? You talk to your wife more. You talk to your husband more. You share more stuff. Like if you want your relationship with anyone to go away, just stop talking to them. It'll go away. And then you'll see them a year from now and you'll try to pick up, but it will never be the same if you don't talk to them. Like we had some friends we went to church with forever and they moved away, and like they were one of our closest friends for the last 8 years, and that relationship's just over. I mean, not completely over, but it's never going to be like it was. We're not going to see each other 2 or 3 times a week. We just won't. Like it's just not happening anymore. And you have to be fine with that. So on the business side, how do you build a relationship with someone is the question. They've joined the list. They've had enough interest. And this is where you have to be psychologically. Someone had enough interest to say, please email me more. Think about that. Who wants more email? No one. But this person, at least for that one point in time, wanted you to email them. So they have a lot of interest in what you're doing. Now what you have to do is just continue to build a relationship with them by teaching them and by helping them. So what we used to do what most people do, which is we would just write kind of one-off blog posts. So we'd publish every week. We'd pick a new, whatever topic, honestly, whatever topic I was interested in, I would write about it and I would publish it. And there was not a lot of rhyme or reason to it, but if it sounded cool and it sounded topical, I just wrote and published it. And I think there's a lot of merit in that at different stages of business. However, what we do now is, and you asked about this in our prep questions, we tell a story. We don't tell our story. No one cares about your story. What people care about is their story. They care about themselves, what the problem is, and how you can fix it and make their life better. That's what they care about. So what we do is we divide up. We used to do every month. Now we do 2 months at a time. So 8 weeks, we do a series. And we'll pick a topic that people are interested in. Right now, for this month of this being filmed, we're doing we're doing sales funnels. So we're picking the M of the track, teach, and monetize. We're doing the M section right now. We usually pick one of the topics, one of those big topics, and then pick one subtopic of that and just talk about that for 8 weeks. So we have like week 1, we always do this. Week 2, we always do this. And all the way through week 8, we have a specific plan where we produce content for those people. And the only thing that goes out publicly on the blog for that is week 8, we publish a blog post. But the other 7 weeks is all private stuff on the email list. You only get it if you're on the email list. We launch a tool in that section. We write a blog post about it. We do some email series. We do a live challenge. So for this month, I think it's week 6, we do our live challenges. And our live challenge is just like, hey, we've been talking about sales funnels for the last month. And I know everybody's liking that and it's been fun. You may be sick of the topic. Well, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. We're going to go to a webinar tomorrow. We're not going to be selling anything. But on the webinar tomorrow, I'm going to make a sales funnel from scratch while you watch. So for Ahrefs, tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to get those posts on your site that have a bunch of links to them. I'm going to show you how to get them to actually rank for stuff because they are the easiest thing ever to rank. No one even tracks that. I've literally never seen an SEO person talk about that, but I don't camp out on the SEO blog, so someone probably has. But in my layman research, I've never seen one talk about that. So tomorrow, we're going to do that. I'm going to break down our own blog, tell you where we suck, where we have totally missed the boat, and we're going to fix it while you watch it. People love that. It's awesome, and it's great content to include in the blog post that'll publish in a few weeks. So we just have an 8-week schedule. Each week is templated out. We know the type of content to produce, and we just write it. So we do series on a topic that ends in an epic blog post that we can rank for SEO and have traffic long term. So we just have a content plan that serves the list and teaches them to build a relationship with them. That's what you got to focus on.
Amazing. Thank you, Bryan. That was super awesome. I'm sure people are now overwhelmed with the amount of knowledge, and I'm sure many people will watch it 2 times. At least I think I am going to watch this again to actually make notes of the things I could do to grow our email list and make it better. So thank you. It was awesome. Thanks.
Thanks, Tim.